Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. We got a video today from Dating Right.
Any man that is willing to lower himself, and I'm not saying women are second-class citizens or second to men, but any man that is willing to step out of his masculine energy and constantly argue with a woman, you need to be on guard.
How so?
Father God, thank you, O Lord, for the kind of wife you have given me. Since ever I met my wife, and she has become a blessing to this family. Thank you for the wonderful woman you have given me.
No need to lie, brother. Why you always lie?
Thank you for the loving and caring woman you have ever given me, Father Lord. I appreciate your name. You have done marvelous in my life. And since you gave this wife to me, my life has automatically changed. God, blessings upon blessing, financial breakthrough. Everything has been wonderful in our life.
I'm finally entered my era. I'm not arguing with women no more. You got it. You got it, love. That's it.
Okay.
I'm no longer arguing. I'm saying what I got to say one time.
Ooh.
And if you got something to say, all right.
Well, he's going to be single for a long time, ladies.
Absolutely single for a long time. I'm not arguing with you. What am I arguing for? Stand on business.
Okay. Nigga.
Women really think we want to argue with them, and they think that arguing with them is what we must do. What the hell?
I mean, sitting alone, standing on
What you
business.
mean? So you gonna be one of those that like, what, you get more mad when somebody don't want to argue with you?
It's not argue. I need you to understand where I'm coming from. Just you shutting down, and you ignoring me, that's isolation.
I didn't shut down. I heard what you said, and I said, okay.
No, I need you to hear what I say and change your behavior is what I need you to do.
I can change my behavior, but that's not gonna, like, if you address something right then and there, how are you gonna see the change behavior?
I need you to verbalize that you are going to change your behavior. Don't just shut up.
Okay, honey, you got it. And that's valid? That's valid?
No. You got it. You gotta say, okay.
See, now you're mad if you just agree.
Okay, moving forward, I will not X, Y, and Z.
Or I would try to do better because none of us are perfect.
What, you want us to steel man you? You can't even steel man any of our arguments because you don't even listen. But you expect us to literally regurgitate and steel man your argument back to you and say we confirm your argument?
Does that work for you?
Try. Right. That's all you have to do. All men can do is try.
Practice makes progress, not perfect.
Come on.
All right?
Come on.
It seems like I do hear a lot of women when it comes to this particular topic of they love to say that they don't want to necessarily argue with the man. He can't shut down and just listen. But at the end of all that listening, he need to submit to her and let her know that he's going to do better or he's sorry. And it's always those two statements that a woman always seem like they're chasing after. They just want to hear the guy say, hey, I'm sorry, and this is something I'm gonna work on. And a lot of times they know the guy's not even gonna change or work on it. They just want him to submit, but
Again, they just want us to lie. I got a comment down below earlier. It was like, what men lie to women all the time, you know? And I was just like, yeah, because you kind of force us to. The easiest thing to answer or to repeat back with that one is, when you ask me if you look fat in that, do you want me to answer you the truth or lie? And it's gonna be a lie.
Roles be reversed, and it's time for her to apologize or take accountability
for her
actions.
Right.
The woman in the relationship never do.
Women don't like to apologize, do they, fellas? Tell the truth. Hell no. You know how women apologize? I'm sorry. Let it go. I did it. It's over. Stop tripping. It's like, no, that ain't going past that quick. We harping on this. Because when we do something, they don't let us forget a thing. It be 2 years later. They on their period, want to go get something to eat. Go ask that with the blue sweater on. She want to that is dead now. That
so much in women that drives me nuts is women who can't apologize.
Oh, accountability.
But they cannot own up at all. Like, they refuse. So much so that a guy that I dated before I met my husband, I remember we had some type of argument, and I said, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have said something that way. And he almost passed out because he was like, no woman in his life had ever said, I'm sorry.
Of course.
And he was like, what the hell? So but I see women, even my friends will have a fight with their boyfriend or their husband, And I'll have to tell them, listen, you need to apologize because sometimes it's going to be you. I see.
Accountability also means apologizing.
Yep.
As women, we refuse to apologize, or if we even utter the words, I am sorry, it is typically from a selfish place of we don't want them to be mad at us or withdrawn, and we just want to sweep things under the rug. We don't want to be vulnerable to admit that we were wrong, which is why we don't apologize. We don't want the accountability. But a genuine, true apology requires genuine remorse and then follow through and a willingness to change the behavior. It doesn't count and it doesn't do any good to apologize when we've made mistakes or we're acting out in ways that are hurtful and destructive to our husbands and then continue those behaviors as if it never happened.
Yep.
That shows a lack of commitment to our husbands, a lack of follow through to hold ourselves accountable.
Who's quicker to apologize, men or women?
Men will just say sorry just to end things. We don't want to deal with all this extra baggage, all this extra argument and stuff. Some men are just like, you got it. Let's just go do whatever. Like, come on.
Oh, hell no.
I think men. And the reason I say men.
I can't even remember a girl ever apologizing for nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
me instantly.
Like,
yeah, I agree with y'all on this one. I agree with y'all. Women have a problem taking accountability, and men will say sorry quicker because they want you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Period. They're like, sorry, it's okay, baby. Sorry, you good?
I don't even think women got a problem with it.
With what?
Taking accountability. They just don't.
Just don't.
It's not that it's a problem. If you could, if we list
That's a good thing.
down the things that men do, it's just like, not what's a problem, just like the fallacy of man, you're going to find a couple socks on the couch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't be putting the lid on the peanut butter sometimes. If I got, little man shit that's just undeniable. Accountability and not having that is just undeniable about women.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I'm talking, I come from some good, strong women who had healthy relationships and loved a man, was faithful to one man and married him, and they still can't take accountability for shit.
Most men have definitely experienced what I'm about to describe. You tell a woman in so many words that she hurt your feelings. That hurts her feelings, and before you know it, her newly hurt feelings are more important than your original hurt feelings. You want an apology, but why would she apologize when you should be apologizing for bringing this up at all? You get angry, she gets upset, and you completely shut down because you feel disrespected and unheard. A little bit of time passes, and all of a sudden she's acting really sweet as though nothing happened. She's hugging you, making a plan for dinner, maybe coming on to you sexually, but still no apology. Why? Well, she's doing it to solve both of her problems. She wants to make you feel better, and she wants to not have to apologize for her previous behavior. You see, she doesn't want to hash anything out. She just wants to test the seriousness of your earlier boundary. And if you want that boundary respected, you have to not let her dodge it like she's trying to. Stay calm and you speak with warmth so that she can't blame your negative emotion anymore. You
stand on business.
You might not get laid tonight. Who cares? At least you'll have her respect, which is the most important element of her attraction to you.
And now I don't know about that. If I was in a relationship with a woman who would never say I'm sorry, that's a big red flag for me.
Yeah.
That would be simply letting me know that I need to get out of this relationship sooner because it won't get any better. But he was absolutely right. Women will definitely try to use sex as an apology, and it's not. And a lot of guys do fall for it.
I saw another creator talk about this, and I definitely wanted to hit on this as well. If you are in a relationship or you are dealing with a man that is willing to lower his vibration and argue with women, yeah, you need to go ahead and exit stage left. Any man that is willing to lower himself, and I'm not saying women are second-class citizens or second to men, but any man that is willing to step out of his masculine energy and constantly argue with a woman, you need to be on guard. Okay? I don't tell you things because I feel like, oh, that would be something good to say. I'm telling you this because I experienced it. Okay? There's a difference between a man having a disagreement with you and being passionate. Yes. And then there are men who will just, in their delivery and in their reasoning, and I'm using air quotes, in their reasoning with you will make it seem as if they're throwing darts at you while they're arguing, okay? I experienced a man that would argue with any woman, okay? And it didn't matter what it was about. He would argue you down. And the thing about it is, this man would turn into somebody else when he would get into a passionate argument, especially if it was with someone that he was intimate with. Okay, there were times where the arguments would turn so nasty. Okay, you have to understand something. I had never experienced a man ever disrespecting
What is nasty?
me and degrading me until I got with this man. Never heard a man call me out of my name before. Never heard a man had
Call you out of your name? What does that mean? Like calling you by your name?
never put his hands on me before until I experienced a man who has little to no respect for women. He would argue with me and he would insult me in those moments. And this was the same person who would tell me in the blink of an eye or in another breath that he loved me. And the arguments would be so nasty and vile that oftentimes they would turn violent. And his mental state was so warped that when I would always try to, I knew where the arguments could go. Like, I knew where they would lead to because I had experienced this so many times. So I would try to walk away. And this man would tell me, oh, you want to disrespect me? You want to be disrespectful by walking away from me while I'm arguing? The arguments would get so nasty and just so out of control. You know, I knew they were going to turn physical. Like, I knew it because I had seen it so many times before. And in order for me to try to to avoid it getting to that point, I would walk away. And in his warped mind, he said that was disrespectful. Me walking away in that moment was disrespectful to him. And you know what that would lead to? That would lead to me being cornered. Okay? And he was good at that. Cornering me in a bathroom or cornering me at some place in our apartment to where I couldn't maneuver. And that's when he would strike. Okay? So I want to tell you, ladies, be on guard if you are in a situation where a man is willing to lower his vibration and argue with a woman. Okay? And I'm saying the word man.
Like the way she's saying it as if like so like women are just so horrible or something that every time you argue, men should just let you do whatever.
And I really should be using that loosely because most men, and I don't mean boys posing as men, most men will not argue with a woman. Okay? And if you have a man that is literally arguing with every single woman, and especially you, trying to hurt you, trying to tear you down, you need to leave that relationship because there's only one place that relationship is going to go, and it's definitely not going up. I have been around men who will say, man, I'm not gonna, don't argue with women. I'm not gonna argue with a woman. Okay? Especially with if you're looking at it from a biblical perspective.
I mean, tell the truth, I don't mind it. I don't mind arguing with women. I don't care. It's fun. It's fun to get them riled up. It's fun for me to get riled up a little bit because I don't like them spouting out dumbass, right? That's me. When I hear, tell the truth, when I hear just straight dumbass, I feel a way about it.
Because a lot of these men want to throw around biblical, scriptures and verses that are going to put them in a position of almost of power, right? That's going to basically, a man is the head and a man is that. Well, in order to be the head and in order to be the lead of anything, you have to be the one that can control any situation, any environment that you're in. You're not supposed to.
Wait. Now we are supposed to control you and control the situation?
You're not supposed to turn into the environment that you're then a part of, right? Avoid those relationships, okay? If you're in one of those relationships...
Or you can just be a good woman and not be argumentative. That might be also a good tip for some women too.
I'm telling you, it is very hard for people to change who they are because at this point in our lives, this is just who they are.
And this is why men say we don't want to date older women, because you just said it. You are the way you are.
And one of the ways to avoid that, okay, and I'm speaking to ladies, men, whatever, okay, and before I tell you this, there are men that call themselves men but are boys posing as men, okay. I've been around kings. I've been around.
So if women that just don't have any emotional intelligence or control, can't cook or clean, can't even clean any, or can't even do the basic house chores, is she just a little girl?
Around men who
Not even
will not argue with women. I've been around men who truly have that spirit to lead. Okay, the problem is that you have a lot of men who are incapable of leading. Okay, my ex couldn't lead me out of a paper bag.
And how much do you guys want to bet me that this particular man that she's speaking of was raised by a single mom? He saw no examples of a male in the household around him because he's acting emotional just like he saw his mothers and probably his sisters act. Men who argue like females and can't control their emotions, they lacked male figures in their life growing up.
Women do not say sorry.
This is quite true. I mean, you cannot control your emotions when trying to argue. I love arguing because I love debating. I think debating is actually really fun to me. Like pitting my ideas versus your ideas, or just my logic versus your logic, and then we're just pitting it against each other. It's actually kind of fun to me. I'm not the greatest at it. I lose quite often to my best friend, Chris. He's much more logical and much more good with it, but I learn and I get better. I want to get better at it. I want to be able to communicate better and get my points across without, too much pushback.
Men do not apologize. Instead, women gaslight men into apologizing for things that they're not even at fault for. And then these same women will sit there and wonder why their relationships don't work out. I'm sorry, they won't sit there and wonder why their relationships don't work out, because that would take some self-accountability and reflection, because that would take some real work, right? That would take some real accountability. So instead, they take the easy way out. They blame men.
5 reasons why your female narcissist will never, ever fucking apologize. Number 1, she thinks that with time, you'll just forget about it. You'll just forget about what she did. Number 2, she thinks that ignoring what she did completely makes it so it never happened. Number 3, and this is the one that most people are probably most familiar with, she thinks that whatever she did was ultimately your fault, right? Number 4, she thinks that ultimately you just don't deserve an apology. You don't deserve one. And number 5.
Yeah, that would be that they think they're better than us.
5, she ultimately knows that she will do it again. She will repeat whatever offense that she committed and expect you to ignore it, forget it, forgive her. And there's only one time that she might apologize, and it's within the cycle of abuse. So the first step in the cycle of abuse is where there's tension that's building. There's a breakdown of communication. Then there's an incident with emotional, physical, or verbal abuse, anger, blaming, arguing, threats, intimidation. And the third step in that cycle is where she actually might apologize. She knows she really fucked up. And that's when she will most likely try to shift the blame, make excuses, deny that it ever happened, or say that the abuse was not as bad as what you said it was.
Oh, and if you guys bring up the fact that she didn't apologize, what does she do then? Oh, don't she lash out at you? She goes berserk. She gets pissed off all over again. She starts to verbally abuse you. She tells you to man up just because you brought up the fact that she didn't apologize. What the
Why are you always so calm?
Because I never argue with stupid people. I just cut it short and tell them they're right.
That's completely ridiculous.
You're right.
Fellas, if you have a wife or a girlfriend, let me save you a lot of trouble. Don't argue with her. I'm telling you, man, it's the biggest waste of time. As a man, you need to learn how to be patient and wait. When a conversation starts to get heated, the best thing you can do is say, you know what, I can see we're not going to see eye to eye. Right now is not the time to discuss this. Let things simmer down and allow her to come to you. Hold on, before you start tagging Drew in this video, let me explain. When she comes to you, this will allow her to be more receptive to what you have to say. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. You might be waiting a long time though, bro. But I can't tell you how many times my wife and I have gone in an argument or disagreement and there's nothing I can say that's going to get through to her. But if I'm patient and allow her to come to me, 9 out of 9 times her attitude is way better, and she usually admits that she was irrational.
See, I hate this method is because we're still conforming to women. because she won't listen and she this. No, I have to do something in particular to make it so she can cool down and come back to me later and all that. No, people just need to be able to handle their business and take care of their own arguments or whatever it is at that moment. I think the not arguing with women part is also why women do what they do. We let them do what they do because we choose not to argue. We choose not to say anything. We choose not to push back. So I have slight pushback on the never argue thing. No, if she did something wrong, you must communicate she did something wrong and hold her accountable.
Or stubborn or unfair. So listen, man, be patient. I know when things go left, it feels like it's all over and it's done, but just let her roll through her emotions for a little bit. And then when she comes back, it's going to be a better conversation, I promise you.
If everything leads into an argument, and if everything that leads into an argument ends up being your fault, you feel me? I've touched on this before. Like, you'll be in an argument with your girl about something that she did, but somehow you'll end up apologizing. You get what I'm saying? How many of y'all have been in a situation like this? Yo, you might have went through your girl phone, seen something that you wasn't supposed to see, and then she started talking about how you did this, that, and the third 2 months ago, so now she's doing this, or how because of you made her feel this way, and then now you get what I'm saying? Everything is your fault. You feel me? Every argument is your fault. You end up apologizing. She disrespects you, you're apologizing. These different type of things. You get what I'm saying? Because for one, everything leading to an argument, y'all always arguing, that means that she don't have no type of respect for you because you can't put her in her place. You never argue with a woman because you're never gonna win. She goes based on.
I guess what I'm thinking argument is like, oh, it's like yelling back and forth. That's argument, right? Maybe I'm wrong then. I mean, I would just tell them, hey, straight up, this, and this, and then walk away, right? So I guess I'm wrong. I see what everybody's saying now. Argument as in, ah! Okay. I was more thinking like, if she did something wrong, I'm going to tell her. And if she says something back to me, it's like, no, you did something wrong. Your fault. And then handle it. And then you walk away. That was my thought process about it. Now I'm thinking, oh yeah, everybody's thinking about the rah part. And
that's how she feels. She can feel a million different ways at once. Meaning she can say a million different things at one time based on how she feels in one moment. So you don't argue with a woman because you're never going to win.
Don't ever argue with your baby daddy, girl. Just say yes. Just say yes and apologize. It'll get you so much further. It'll get you so much further. Let me tell you something. Cook that man something to eat. Say yes and apologize. Even if you ain't wrong. Even if you are wrong. Just say yes and apologize. And you arguing, trying to, you know what I'm saying? Trying to, yeah, girl, say yes. Say okay and apologize.
Like, women do have a lot more pride nowadays of apologizing because thinking, they gotta uphold that image of women can do no wrong.
You gotta have mind control over Debo. Y'all don't got mind control over Debo. That's the issue. Y'all don't got mind control over it. Y'all ain't got it. Y'all ain't got mind control over Debo.
I don't argue with people no more, man. I don't argue with nobody, bro. I just don't. And let me tell you something. The reason why I don't argue with people, you ever been in an argument with somebody and it is clear, cut, and dry that they are wrong, they are incorrect, and the thing that they said to you, they shouldn't have said, the thing that they did, they shouldn't have done, and they owe you an apology at the end of the day, but they flip it and reverse it and bring up some old stuff you did, and now all of a sudden this whole big scenario you got going on is your fault?
See, I think men are just not great at arguing. We're really bad at it. So we're telling men to stray away from something that we're bad at. As women's field is arguing back and forth, right? No, I think being able to debate and tell them you're wrong and push them the actual accountability is what men should be doing.
They have clearly done you wrong, clearly did wrong, clearly made you feel a certain way based off their actions, irrefutably wrong in this situation, and they flip it on you to make you feel bad and make you feel like it's your fault. An argument at the end of the day is supposed to be progressive. We're supposed to have a dialogue.
True.
What happened? Why did it happen?
Okay, I get where.
How can we avoid it happening again? And if an apology needs to...
I actually have dialogue with people that I argue with, so it's a little bit. That's why I'm like, I was a little bit confused of what was really going on, but I understand now through the lens of what the video is trying to say.
To be said, it is said and done right then and there. People are too ignorant to see things from other people's perspective, and that is the downfall of relationships, is that people lack basic communication skills.
True.
That's why I don't argue with people no more, bro. Their perspectives are too jaded, and they're too ignorant and full of themselves to understand that they could be wrong, they might be wrong.
You are correct. Okay, people that are in that boat, yeah, no need to argue, walk away. But people that actually have some thought process in their heads of why they're doing something, it's fun to argue. It's fun to pit your mind against somebody else's mind.
They need to have a dialogue to understand what the problem actually is. And then they need to have a solution, because an argument without a solution is a pointless conversation, bro.
And I think...
No, I don't think an argument or a conversation without solution is useless. We have conversations all the time that don't really produce a solution.
I think that's what it all boils down to. A lot of people that's in relationships, they don't know how to communicate. Communication breaks down when frustration kick in, when somebody get upset. I have learned from previous relationships that if there's an issue, I like to confront it straight on. I like to, go ahead and squash it. I will be the first one to apologize, just to initiate the dialogue. But you will be with someone who they don't even respect that, because they don't want to feel like they have done anything wrong or they was the cause of the issue. And it's all, the fact that everyone's walking around with chips on their shoulder with these massive egos. And I just don't get the big...
No, I'm probably have a massive ego too when it comes to arguing.
Deal of why people don't want to, apologize and just admit they're wrong if they really respect the person that they're in a relationship with. It's just a bunch of short-term relationships going on out here with people who don't know how to have a healthy conversation.
Can't nobody tell me where and how to go.
I didn't come to fight. You just need some time. You ready to talk? Call me anytime, all right? Okay?
Well, let me lock you out because I just was like, what the
But that's all I got in this video. You guys be sure to drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about this one.
I'm thinking my definition of argument is probably a little bit off, but the rah back and forth, yeah, no need to deal with that, walk away. But if there's actual conversation to be had, the person actually wants to listen to your points, actually have a communication. Actually tell them that they did something wrong. Say something about it. I think because of the whole no arguing thing, a lot of men just let women do whatever because they don't want to argue, don't want to, ruffle feathers or whatever it is. There's two sides of this that I'm like, it's hard for me to say completely walk away every time to, no, sometimes you have to put people in their place and tell them they did something wrong. So please subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And